Welcome to the second edition of Forensics tournament. On the right side we have the houses where to legalize the use of cannabis. And Matej from Slovakia will point out its therapeutical use. Victor from Italy will analyze crime rate reduction related to cannabis legalization. And industrial usage will be dealt with Guy Elena from Spain. Cans will be respectively supported by Andrea from Romania, Marina from Spain, and Shelal from Turkey. The judge will be Igor from Bulgaria.
Let's begin. First, Matthew.
Good afternoon. My name is Matej and I'm the first speaker of the affirmative team. Today's debate is about legalization of cannabis. In this debate, I will talk about rehabilitation by cannabis. In the first part of the speech, I will talk about how useful is cannabis in medicine, and in the second part of my speech, I will talk about unreasonable health concerns regarding use of marijuana, and also about how it could actually replace more dangerous medications. So, one of the reasons to legalize cannabis is that it has plenty of medical uses. Medical cannabis is actually nothing new. For the medical purposes, it was used even 5,000 years ago. Until the beginning of the 20th century, it was one of the most used medical substances in the world. So what makes cannabis so useful in medicine? Well, cannabis contains at least two chemicals that researchers think have medical use. THC, which seems to have pain relief properties, and CBD, which seems to impact the brain without a high. Thanks to these chemicals, cannabis can be used to treat multiple diseases and perhaps can offer a cheaper and safer alternative to current medications. For example, an extract from CBD, a chemical in cannabis, can be used to treat epilepsy. A study published by US neurologists proved that this extract from cannabis can reduce epileptic seizures at a higher rate than current medications. But it is not the only case when cannabis can be useful. For example, unlike tobacco, it can actually improve lung health and reverse negative effects of smoking, and therefore decrease risk of lung cancer. It can be also used to treat and prevent eye disease called glaucoma, which causes increased pressure within the eyeball and may cause blindness. It could also slow progression of Alzheimer's disease. It can be used to treat lupus. It can help decrease anxiety and even possibly stop cancer from spreading. There is no question that cannabis can have plenty of medical uses. But what about its negative effects? Isn't it too dangerous or addictive or unhealthy to be legalized? Do health risks regarding cannabis really outweighs its benefits? Cannabis has some negative effects on health, but these are extremely irrelevant compared to negative effects of other legal substances. For example, it is impossible to get fatally overdosed by cannabis. Nobody in the history of mankind have ever died because of cannabis overdose. On the other hand, many people die every year because of overdose of alcohol or overdose of legally prescribed drugs. As many as 70,000 people have died in the first decade of 21st century in the European Union because of overdose of legally prescribed drugs. What makes cannabis so much worse than alcohol or these dangerous medications? Why should it be kept illegal while those drugs are legal? It is almost impossible to die by cannabis use, but it is true that there are certain health risks associated with its use. But the important fact is that all negative effects that cannabis has on adults are just temporary. Perfect example of dangerous medications that could be replaced by cannabis are opioid painkillers. These painkillers kill thousands of people every year, specifically importantly, cannabis can actually replace these dangerous opioid painkillers and become an alternative painkiller which is not only much safer but also more effective. To summarize it, there are many positive effects of cannabis, but too few risks associated with its legalization. Many substances that are more dangerous than cannabis are legal in so many countries. For these reasons, we are convinced that cannabis should be legalized as a safe alternative to current medications. Thank you for your attention.
Good morning, distinguished teacher and dear students. As you know, the topic for our debate is legalization of cannabis. However, we, the negative team, strongly oppose this resolution. I am Andrea, and today, as the first speaker of the opposing team, I will be talking about health damages. Our second speaker, Marina Duran-Lopez, will be talking about drug-related crime, while Shevalos, the third member of our team, will be talking about gateway drugs. It is also my responsibility to sum up our team case at the end of the debate. Before presenting our first point, allow me to speak in response to the government's argument on the resolution. The first speaker from the affirmative team has tried to demonstrate that cannabis has some beneficial medicinal qualities and therefore it should be legalized. In our opinion, this is totally unacceptable. Although evidence may show that cannabis has some additional benefits, its use also has harmful side effects, so its legalization is unjustifiable. Take for example Sativex, a mouth spray which contains cannabis extracts used in multiple sclerosis to improve symptoms related to muscle stiffness. According to the information for the patient that we can find in the package leaflet, the side effects that patients can get when taking this medicine are the following: difficulty speaking, blurred vision, problems with memory or having trouble, losing touch with reality, feeling depressed or confused, seeing or hearing things that are not there, that is hallucinations, thoughts of suicide, changes in pulse rate, heart rate or blood pressure, feeling abnormal or drunk, loss of balance or failing over, and many others. It can also affect patients' ability to drive or to use machines, as it may cause them to feel sleepy or dizzy, impair their judgment and performance of skill tests. As you could see, the side effects of Sativex are multiple and very dangerous. In some situations, this medicine may put patients' lives in risk more than treating their illness, not to mention the fact that when taken in high doses or for a long period of time, it may cause addiction. So, why should we legalize the use of such a drug as treatment when there are some other alternative painkillers which have less and not such life-threatening side effects as the cannabis-based ones? As I have already mentioned, we are completely against the resolution, and as our first argument refers to health damages, meaning the adverse consequences of cannabis use on the human brain and body. Evidence clearly shows that using cannabis and is derived from marijuana has several health risks. Moreover, today's marijuana is stronger than marijuana from many years ago. Studies show that the average level of tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, which is the main mind-altering component of marijuana, has increased by 300% to 400% over the last few decades. As marijuana containing higher levels of THC is becoming more commonplace, the use of this stronger type of marijuana can contribute to increased health risks. The Drug Abuse Warning Network, a system for monitoring the health impact of drugs, estimated that in 2011 there were nearly 456,000 drug-related emergency department visits in the United States in which marijuana use was mentioned in the medical record. The physical health effects of marijuana use mainly involve the lungs and the heart. Like tobacco smoke, marijuana smoke is a mix of toxic substances. Marijuana smoke irritates the throat and lungs, causing coughing, increased phlegm, build up in the throat, frequent chest problems, and greater risk of lung infections. It also contains many of the same cancer-causing materials as tobacco smoke. Several studies have linked marijuana use to increased risk for mental illnesses, including temporary hallucinations, temporary paranoia, and worsening symptoms in patients with schizophrenia. Marijuana use has also been linked to other mental health problems, such as depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts, among things. Youth are especially vulnerable to the mental health damages of cannabis use because adolescence is a critical time in our life. Having THC in the brain at such a critical time can interfere with brain development and therefore harm brain function for life. It can also increase the risk of triggering a psychotic episode or a mental illness such as schizophrenia. In this respect, I want to read to you a few lines from the story of a recovering marijuana addict so that you could understand better why legalizing cannabis would do nothing but bring more and more people, mostly teenagers, on the verge of death or suicide. During my last 6 months of use, the possible necessity to kill myself always seemed just a week or two away. My plan, while I was at school, was to jump off of a nearby parking garage. At home, I would use my dad's shotgun to shoot myself in the head. I didn't want to feel what I felt when I wasn't high. Luckily, I always got high before I was ready to actually kill myself. Had I known of the devastating effects weed would have on me, I would have never taken that first hit. I had no idea of the destructive potential of weed. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Victor, and I'll talk about the crime rate reduction. I can see your point, but have you all considered that statistics demonstrate that crime has strongly decreased in those countries where cannabis is illegal? We're supposed to be living in a free society where it does not matter if cannabis is bad for people or not. The fact is that we're not looking for the fundamental point. Weed is not the problem. I tried to find numbers about being high and committing violence as consequence. Do you want to know what I found? Nothing. That was what I was talking about. Weed has never hurt anyone. Actually, marijuana reduces the likelihood of violent acts during intoxication, and in habitual users, scientists noticed a reduction of aggressivity and violent behavior. That's why we should legalize marijuana. And if you still think that I'm wrong, listen to those numbers. 1 month after the legalization, Colorado State in the USA gave more than $50 million in recreational cannabis sales, and developed the 50% of this amount to build new schools as a law. The number of convicted people reduced to 84% for detention of marijuana, and the police, allowing the police to invest their efforts in solving major problems, often related to alcohol and not marijuana. Thinking about the deaths caused by the alcohol and tobacco use, the question that spontaneously arises is, why shouldn't weed be legalized if it causes no certified deaths? And why should tobacco and alcohol be legal if they cause over 8 million deaths and knowledge deaths every year? Probably it's only because we live in a society where prejudice dominates. I have nothing to say.
Hello. I think we have to get campaigns as a good reason. The word of aim, of course, against marijuana. Marijuana is a drug which damages people, social, medical, or political. The legal position of marijuana would represent a crime because it can alter the world. Of course, I think marijuana mustn't be legal as it is contrary to meet it the health of millions of people over the world. I think people can lose freedom if government have got the responsibility to respect individual freedom.
Lenia.
Hi, my name is Lenia, and I am going to talk about industrial use of cannabis. Hemp and industry. Some facts about hemp. There are over 25,000 uses for hemp. The healthy corporation of hemp fibers can create building materials superior to wood in strength, quality, and cost. Hemp fabric is softer, warmer, more water resistant, and more durable than cotton. Hemp fabric also uses less chemicals to produce. Industrial uses of hemp in China today has far back as 10,000 years. Industrial hemp is produced in many countries around the world. Major producers include Canada, France, and China. It is one of the fastest growing biomasses now and one of the early domesticated plants now. Hemp and the environment. Deforestation is considered by many to be one of the most serious and dangerous practices in the world today. We are destroying the very soul of peroxide and biodiversity. Hemp produces 4 times the raw material than trees for paper making. Hemp can be planted between 1 to 3 times a season, depending on location, and can be recycled up to 10 times. Compact to 3 or 4 for wood paper. The same fiber products that the hemp harvest produces also provide raw materials for a host of other sustainable products such as paper, textile, biodegradable plastics, construction, health food, and fuel. Biodiesel fuel emits 80% less carbon dioxide and nearly 100% sulfur dioxide. Hemp paper can be recycled up to 7 times. Wood paper can be recycled 4 times. Hemp fuel do not destroy the ozone layer or contribute to global warming. Hemp fuel burns clean, they do not capture acid rain. Hemp fuel is 10 times less toxic than salt and has biodegradable sugar. Hemp and hemp. Hemp oil is the highest source of essential omega-3 and 6 fatty acids, among other things. It controls cholesterol, arterial blockade, and the immune system. Common non-medicinal uses of hemp include nausea and vomiting, multiple sclerosis, muscle spasm disorders, spinal cord injuries, Crohn's disease, Alzheimer's disease, Tourette syndrome, digestive disorder, glaucoma, asthma, and neurodegenerative disorders. Across for the future, with modern farming in big trouble, farmers have behind pays not to cultivate their land, and food mines are bad in developed countries, while millions of people go hungry in developed countries. Hemp represents a lifeline across for rural and younger prone areas of particular value is basically an organic natural. A face, stricken via, cold cloth, house, and being denser from one hemp field. So why not?
I see your point, Melania. Cannabis might have some uses in the industry, but there are many other materials, such as cotton, flax, and hemp can be used in the same way without the risk of cannabis. My point against the legalization of cannabis is its status as a gateway drug. A gateway drug is a drug such as cannabis that is believed by some people to lead to the use of more harmful drugs such as heroin or cocaine. Even if cannabis itself causes minimal harm, it's a dangerous substance because it leads to the use of harder drugs like heroin, LSD, and cocaine. Statistics cannot be ignored as they are part and parcel of the society that we live in. Many people first consider taking other drugs after having smoked cannabis. The idea of taking other drugs seems less threatening after having experimented with cannabis. This is because of the acceptance of drug in pop culture. A major study has found smoking cannabis daily sets users up for a lifetime of multiple drug use. Weekly cannabis users are 2 to 3 times more likely to take other drugs, such as amphetamines, ecstasy, and cocaine than occasional users. Daily cannabis smokers prove 6 times more likely than occasional users to start smoking cigarettes. And this is what Dr. Wendy Swift from the Drug and Alcohol Research Center calls the reverse gateway. People say drug use always starts with tobacco, but in this study some starts with cannabis and then move to tobacco. A study among 2,000 Victorian high school students provides further evidence that cannabis is a gateway drug that encourages users to experiment with other drugs, both legal and illicit. It builds on a 2007 study of the same students that identified cannabis as the drug for life's future losers. If adolescents used it heavily, as they were even more likely to suffer poor mental health than teenage binge drinkers. So to conclude, some studies show that cannabis might be considered a gateway drug, and cannabis users are likely to take other drugs, and cannabis shouldn't be legalized. So ladies and gentlemen, we as members of the opposition have talked about health damages, drug-related crime, and gateway drug. We have shown that the use of cannabis has dangerous side effects and leads to medically and socially harmful outcomes. We have also brought important proof to demonstrate that legalization will lead to users moving to harder drugs like heroin and cocaine, which ultimately brings about an increase in social ills. Moreover, the crime rate will inevitably rise, giving criminals a legitimate base from which to continue their activities. From the opposition's point of view, we consider that there are no consistent reasons for cannabis to be legalized. In this respect, we managed to construct our own argumentation which challenged the government's case during the debate. We believe that the opposing arguments and proofs were more relevant in the context of the debate than those presented by the government. Thank you for your attention.
It's okay. Just
So thank you for this debate. You all did very good. I liked it. And before I give you the feedback, I'm just going to say a few words about the topic. So yeah, the legalization of cannabis is one of the most discussed issues of modern society in recent years. And it's very controversial. A lot of countries believe that it's good, a lot of countries believe that it's bad. That's why it's such a controversial subject. Now, I like that you use some of the best arguments that could be found. I would have liked to see if someone would have talked about actual street dealing, because on the streets people can give you cannabis mixed with other things. That would have been a nice argument to have, because it's one of the biggest dangers in countries where it's illegal. Dealers are one of the biggest dangers of illegal marijuana, and in places where it's legal, there's a lower risk that you'll get a mixed product. I like that you talked about smoking. I would like to see this team talk about edibles, like ingesting marijuana by eating. That would have been a nice argument, because it does not hurt the lungs. Still, the debate concerning legalization continues, and it continues all over the world. And I'm not here to say who's right. I'm here to say who's more convincing. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to talk about each and every speaker, what you did right, what you did wrong. So, the first speaker of the affirmative team. I really have nothing bad to say about you. You did very good. You were very structured. I understood everything that you said, so good job. And the same goes for the first speaker of the negative team. Very good structure, good argument. I'm impressed. When it comes to your second speaker, Your speech was also very nice, but it was also kind of short. You should always try to utilize your 5 minutes of speaking. Which also goes for your second speaker. Your speech was very short. You need to write something longer because your argument was way too short for it to be even considered a speech. For your third speaker, I really liked your argument. It was very creative. I like the fact that you talked about industrial hemp use because not a lot of people would think about that. So good job to you too. And your third speaker also very good, considering it a gateway drug and speaking about how after the transition there could be a rise in crime. That was very clever of you, so good job to you too. As a whole, it's a hard decision to decide who did better. But in the end, I'm going to have to go with the affirmative team. So, congratulations to you. Mainly because your second speech was almost non-existent. That was your biggest problem. And they just had more arguments, well, better structure, and just utilized their time better. So, you still did great. Don't give up. Keep doing debates because they're very useful. And thank you everyone for this wonderful